Ladies and gentlemen, Tyson laying off U.S. workers and bringing in migrants. If you didn't know what the plan was, now you know what it is. So no longer are they going to pay 30, 40, and 50 an hour. They're going to cut that in half or even less and pay these migrants not probably under half of the salary they're paying Americans. So if you didn't know what the Democratic plan is, now you know what it is. It's going to be next to impossible for Americans to get in these big manufacturing jobs before it's all said and done. I know what I'm talking about. They're going to push all of these American workers out, bring these migrants in. They don't care about you. And they're going to show you they don't care about you at all. It's going to be tough luck for you. And that's it. Look, we have gone through job loss to foreigners before. If you remember, back during the Clinton years, jobs were outsourced. And sometimes you had to train the person that was going to take your job. And a lot of times they were foreigners that they brought in. There were many people that had to train their replacement. And they outsourced all these jobs that were once here in America. And that went on for several years. Now, China and India, places like that, they now have those jobs. And they never came back to US soil. So now they're not even going to bother sending jobs overseas. They're just going to push American workers out and bring in the cheap labor, migrants. And you watch, they're going to help them probably get their American citizenship and help them with all kinds of perks. I bet you they'll end up with more perks than the American workers received when they were in these companies. Tyson is just the beginning. You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm going to play this video from Fox News and I'll be right back with the rest of my commentary.
This week, Tyson Foods announced that it will be permanently closing its pork factory in Perry, killing around 1,200 jobs in a town of just 8,000 people. So as Perry residents struggle to cope with mass layoffs, Tyson Foods has its eyes on a different class of workers. The company is now offering new jobs to asylum seekers in other states like New York. Bloomberg says Tyson's tracking migrants in a massive database. They scroll through the data like Facebook. You see a worker you like, tap hire. They even had a job fair.
So you were at a Tyson fair in New York City not so long ago where Tyson was basically making this pitch. What did you observe when you went there?
They created a database for these new asylum seekers in New York City. So these people would come in, they'd learn a little bit about the company, and for the most part, Tyson had already gone through their various details of their application. And so many of them, 17 the day I was there, and then another 70 a couple weeks later, went off to Tennessee to go start their new jobs as Tyson production workers.
Oh, and the jobs come with perks, not just health insurance. Tyson's also offering lawyers to its illegal alien workers and time off to attend immigration hearings. In 2034, of course, they're firing Americans and offering perks to illegals. This was the Democrat plan all along.
Well, first of all, let's just say we are a nation of immigrants. 460,000 open jobs today. Wow. I have 5,000 farm jobs that I need filled so we can plant the crops.
Vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
You see, even in Florida, some of the farmers and the growers saying, why are you shipping these immigrants up north? We need them to pick the crops.
We reached out to Tyson for comment, and they said they have a very diverse set of employees, and they're proud of it. Ohio Senator and author of Hillbilly Elegy, J.D. Vance, joins us now. I didn't think it was legal, Senator, to axe American workers and hire en masse illegal aliens.
Well, it shouldn't be, Jesse, and we're certainly going to look into whether we can change that, assuming Tyson is operating legally, which we don't even know if they are. We don't know the details of this. All we know, Jesse, is that they are firing American workers and hiring illegal aliens to replace them. This is the entire point of illegal immigration, and Republicans, we've got to hammer this point home. It reduces the wages of American workers by replacing American citizens with foreign laborers who are willing to work at slave wages. It has been the plan, as you said, from the beginning, and what this means is the eradication of the American dream. Every time an American is replaced with an illegal immigrant, it means that an American family loses a good family supporting wage. It means that American companies are literally replacing our own citizens with people who will work for slave wages. That is not capitalism or a market economy, Jesse. That is the decimation of the American middle class via illegal immigration, and it's happening all over the country.
And this poor town's going to get slaughtered. All of those people laid off in such a small town, it's just going to have such a tremendous impact. Are they getting around it legally by saying we're not hiring illegal aliens, we're hiring asylum seekers? Is that how they do it?
Well, that's one of the ways that they do it, Jesse, and we know that the Biden administration has made it easier to basically pretend that economic migrants are asylum seekers. It's one of the reasons why we have to change our asylum laws in this nation. But, Jesse, think about how much of a contrast this presents between the Trump economy and the Biden economy. If you go back to the Trump economy, you had American jobs going to American workers. You had wages rising. Under the Biden economy, you have those American workers getting fired and replaced with foreign labor. This is not an exaggeration. All net job creation, Jesse, you heard me right, 100% of net job creation under the Biden administration has gone to the foreign-born. So we are taking an economy that produced prosperity for American citizens and turning it into an economy that produces prosperity for people who probably shouldn't be here in the first place. And I bet you know what Tyson isn't doing, Jesse? I bet they're not drug testing the illegal immigrants who are coming in. I bet they're not asking whether they're bringing fentanyl or drugs into that small town with them. This is the end of the American dream if we let this stuff happen. We've got to reelect Donald Trump, and we've got to get congressional Republicans with some spine to push back against this stuff.
So you heard it. Now they're praying for Trump to get in office. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you have a president that will let people come across the border. And then you got these big manufacturers that can't wait to dump off these American workers so they can bring in a house full of migrants. You're going to see this happening all over the country. You watch, they're going to get every sector that they can get their hands on and put these migrants in. You know what? They were talking about they're not going to care about drug testing. That's not the only thing. They're not going to care about education. I doubt if they do much of a background check on these people because they really can't anyway. They can give them any old name, even if it's Tyson Foods. They're going to overlook a lot of things that they require of Americans that they won't do with these workers. They're not going to have to go through a credit check, no background check, no drug check, no drug testing. They're going to just throw them in there and let them work. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to have to go through none of the red tape that Americans go through to get on these jobs. They won't care about you. They won't care if you're suffering. They won't care if your family is suffering and you can't afford things anymore. They're not going to care. This is why these rich folks, they are dying for these folks to be coming into the country. That's one thing I notice that stands out more than anything. You always see the working class people raising issue with it, but your rich, elite kind of people, they never complain about these illegals coming across the border because they know they can get them to work for practically nothing. And they're talking about American dream. Well, for them, yeah, for these illegals, oh yeah, it's definitely an American dream for them. But for the US worker working in these big manufacturing companies, it's going to be a nightmare for you. I'm just saying. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.